Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image.
Hey, welcome back everyone, Mon here. Okay, so we're going to carry on with Beacon Pines. This game is something I've never quite played before. I mean, whoever made this game is an absolute genius with how many story twists there are, how many... It is the most intense story-driven game I have ever played in my entire life. And there's always some really random, insane twist to it. It is... wow. So I'm going to carry on. I did a stream about it, but I want to finish it. And I'm not too sure how much is left or how many stories we're going to go into. But I have chosen all the worst endings so far. So if you want to know how it's going to go, just guaranteed I'm always going to choose the worst one. It's like predestined. Okay, let's get started.
For the rest of time. The end. There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again! No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again, please. They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luka and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
Well, what's going on here? You're that Modeville girl. Please call me Beck. Sorry about all of this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you'd need some backup. But she sent a child. What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this
Mr.
town.
Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out that we're both here
Beck
too?
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
To destroy the
Beck
evidence.
shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old girl is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were here to find out what we were going to destroy, the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down
Beck
here.
was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? No, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in the perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's a password for? We don't know. So we have a password and know where to put it? It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go out that way. Go work that out. I got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tulliver's had a candy shelf. What? But all he ever sells us is
Beck
apples.
blinked slowly in disappointment.
Wouldn't you? The password, Rolo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it
Beck
seems.
marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies? So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be... Ooh, it's an anagram. Nun Creed's drugstore.
Luka and Beck looked at Rolo with amazement.
Rolo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's Nud drugstore. Yeah, I think you're right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Investigate Nun Creed's drugstore. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tulliver around, have you? Oh, no. He's got me waiting around like that last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Well, let's go. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about?
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Kerr really does want to do something good for the town. He's actually pretty a nice guy. You should spend time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Arius, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be part of that future? Or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus. But you'll always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. Yeah, sure. We'll still keep going, though. Oh, why does he keep doing that, little widow?
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nancreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. And where'd you get all the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. But whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by the choice of their confection. Oh yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nancreed kept licorice in the store. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Interesting. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. All right. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That's not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's Nud Rug Store. I mean, Underground Secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see
Luka
here.
cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing.
Nice.
It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Wicked.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You knew that there was a strange hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luka, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if those transdimensional conduits from Hank Automatic issue 12 were real? Rolo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer, and a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest Main Office. Oh, that's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to an old Valentine place? This is starting to feel more like something big. This suit has a broken mask. So we have found our warehouse mystery... Found our mystery warehouse creeper. Or at least found their hazmat suit. It walks like an uncreed and it talks like an uncreed. Let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi
Willow's
tech.
hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rolo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even move yet. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You'll need to come with me now. I'm not going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password, but they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Well, you don't get to talk about my dad. You know your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped them. Yep, total sidetrack.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luka, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He found something he quite didn't understand, and he's willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people, and the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he will make sure they keep you saying yes until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to the sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs done.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luka began to laugh.
What? You really don't know. My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosive and bad intentions, big men.
Nuncreed grabbed Luka by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what she's messing with. Tell me now she's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. Fountain? But why?
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it will catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all. You'll need to run. Run where? Away. As far from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That looks so epic. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth.
All right.
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera, as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Oh my God, they're all here. That was intense. Yeah. I think I might have potted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got any of us. Didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up with Nuncreed. I think he went this way. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear it with snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. Alright. Excuse me. This is starting to really... I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this sure does look like some sort of frozen replica of the town. I got it. It's obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rolo, stick with me. Species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimensions, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through the metallic wormholes back there. Final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it, we should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luka recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. No, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luka, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luka. This is between me.
Rolo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luka approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luka, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luka's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness, he began to hum.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luka had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luka had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luka was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
Freaky. It's kind of sad and cute at the same time.
Luka lifted his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? Funny people will call me that as my dad and your mum.
Luka blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother, only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom?
Luka sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon
Eleanor
my
looked
son.
down at Luka, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you would have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luka. But why did you lie to me? You tore me up, Luka, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped. It was better if everyone thought I was gone. But you could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luka. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then, what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luka gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Sheesh. Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago. Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that is what change is all about. Oh, cool. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we will be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has dangerous secrets, and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. Not making any sense
Mr.
to
Kerr
you.
addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd. It's just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. And while they had us evacuated, Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to. You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. Little help, please. Don't you all see this festival is a sham? An excuse to have the whole town together in one place? They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the Dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable. So that now she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. You'll know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. The ever tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn, being quite the thorn in my side, like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party, but alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter. Your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You have done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense. The recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper
His
Valentine.
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Wow.
A hushed horror gripped the crowd.
Just a tad.
This is a story about change.
That's not wrong. What? No? Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. And I was right about one thing. The festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. Maybe it would help if we set the mood. Luka, be a dear and reveal the sign. Sharper Valentine Festival. Ha, wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. Malice. I'm glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for your audience participation. Some assistance,
William
Mr. Kerr.
Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward. Does anyone else have something to contribute?
Helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Did you all truly believe you could free of me? A town of complete and utter fools? You people should be celebrating my return. You clearly lost without me. And that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy, I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus. An adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who is completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Eris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, have you been wasting time, my dear? What have you accomplished? Focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? You need a legacy when you can just live forever. But what about... All right, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where is Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense. These people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You just simply were too weak to take it. No matter. Cheer up. You are about to be rich beyond your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kuro's example. When I found him, he was a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor, desperate to recapture his youth. He plays part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. That goes for you. Well, these who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I'm willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of the perennial harvest? You think that puffed up what Bletherstake could have accomplished all of this? Damn, I suppose it's time for your big...
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
I didn't see this coming at all. You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect, lie, and bulk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Wow. Touche. Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire at your service. All right. Founder, I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity again. It's truly the role of a lifetime. Wait. So this Bill Kerr was Patsy the whole time? Now that your secret is out and open, what's to stop this town from rising up against you? Of course, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. The choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ha, the young Nero. Kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have had your own moment of triumph. But that fate's for you. You can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have one. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. And our time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought. But well worth it. Ha.
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckle.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end.
As I said.
This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now.
They
You
are.
can feel it, right?
Yeah.
We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing.
He perhaps maybe.
Let's see.
Okay, we have done... Oh, wait. Let me just move my ass here. So we can perhaps see all of them. If I'm still in the way... I think I'm just going to be like a floating head, perhaps aside. There we go. Yeah, that should be fun. I want to believe can be backwards. All good. Hopefully I'm not in the way. Okay. Alright, where was I? Okay. So we've done all of the other ones. We haven't done Malice. Oh, Malice will probably end very poorly. Weep. I think let's start from this one and do the chill. Okay. They needed to know what he was doing in Luka's house. After some deliberation, it was decided they'd run the classic good cop, chill cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luka walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I'm sure my bell
He
rang.
looked over to find Luka, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was a big mistake. Luka, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rolo just got a little startled. Rolo's
Rollo
here?
and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, all right. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it
Luka
even.
glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you here in my Grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's Gran up to? If you'll cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know I can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luka, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your Gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing
Luka
patient
gestured
notes,
to the corner.
barrels of explosives. I can't explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an
Luka
explanation.
looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged.
Why
Luka
not?
began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
Cool. That's a good lad. This all makes sense in
He
time.
edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
Oh no. You see, this town is secret, Luka. A very dark past
Before
indeed.
the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past must be brought
He
to...
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Oh, come on, guy. Light. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. The kids just keep tight down there and let the adults
They
handle
looked
this.
bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luka opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
Oh, no.
Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
All right. Okay, so we chose Sly on this one. Let's do it.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luka and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
Beck's cool. What's going on here? You're the Myrtleville girl. Please call me Beck. Sorry about all of
Mr.
this.
Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you
Beck
here?
caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran.
Cool.
This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on the edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup, but she sent a child. What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this
Mr.
town.
Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here
Beck
too?
twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
Destroy the
Beck shook
evidence.
her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old girl is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her though. If anyone were to find out that we are going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up
Beck
here.
was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? No, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio scan while restocking the candy shelf. And when you know it, I intercepted an old phrase in the perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it. It's got to mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time Mr. Tulliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is
Beck
apples.
blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rolo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tulliver about that candy shelf. Fine, in the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy, transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21, N would be 14, D would be... Ooh, it's an anagram. Nun-Creed's drugstore.
And Beck looked at Rolo with amazement.
Rolo, that was incredible. Oh, now I'm in the way of the characters again. All right. This is where we're going to leave me now. And here we go. Beautiful. Well, it's either that or Creed's new drugstore. Crins. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Investigate Nun-Creed's drugstore. You scared me half to death, sorry. The kids haven't seen Mr. Tulliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last piece of pie, or slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Oh, I keep doing that. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. We caught up with work. You? Had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about?
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Kerr really does want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Ares, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dump ground. This is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When it all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. We are going to choose to be part of the future, or be forgotten in the past. It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you'll always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nun-Creed. Is he still here? I'm afraid not. Where'd you get all that candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have a family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. but whatever floats your boat. It'll tell a lot about a person by the choice of their conviction. Oh yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I am certain you do. Always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's easy as cold hard cash. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's got to be more clues. Okay, let's see. Alright. Okay, the answer's got to be around here somewhere. See, it's in here. Have you ever seen anyone use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That's not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's nude rug stall. I mean, underground secrets. The
Beck
password.
flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luka cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it! You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? Nope. I definitely thought it. Luka, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits of Hank Atomic Issue 12 were real? Rolla, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. Looks like each of these has something written on them. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. I'm not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. The thing about Pa is you don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. Oh, that's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. She involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? Well, at least we found their hazmat suit. If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rolla, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. Oh, cute. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. Shit, shit. Awesome! You'll need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets, I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. I don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. All the stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true, I used to bounce you off my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick. No, we were partners. We helped the patients and I helped him. Oh, he helped the patients. Okay. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luka, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. He says he's got an opportunity. He's found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing is, I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others than if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharp is long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to the sub story? No, not really. Just an old man trying to delay what needs been doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. I tried to keep you and Jennifer out of this. It forced my hand.
Luka began to laugh.
What? You really don't know. My gran isn't out of this stuff. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosive and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luka by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what she is messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She's had a map with a mark on the fountain in the town square. The fountain?
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. What the heck is the source? She tries to destroy the source. It could catalyze. And dear God, she's going to freeze us all. You'll need to run. Run where? Anyway. Away, as far as you from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this town. I would too, really.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Alright, so we're back here again. I'm not too sure what we've done and what we haven't. It's insane. That was intense. Yeah. I think I might have potted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got any of us. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find it, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Catch up to Mr. Nuncreed. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we could clear off the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. Oh, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. I got it. It's obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rolo, stick with me here. Your species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through some metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into Beacon Pine citizen for their choosing. Or of their choosing. Yeah, you never really had me. But you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luka recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. It wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luka, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luka. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and back held steadfast in awe. Luka approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. And just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luka, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father still might be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens.
Wow.
The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your wages happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luka's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Okay, so we've done hum. Let's do weep.
And in the stillness, he began to weep.
Yeah, let's do weep.
It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luka whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luka for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will make sense soon, Luka. And everything will go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
Oh dear, God. You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll all see where their loyalties fall. Juniper,
Ignoring
don't.
his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness.
Oh god, are we dead?
She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one important thing in life, lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Oh god. The end.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luka. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end.
Dear God.
Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Fire and ice. Okay, so this one is now officially done. This one is done. So the only one we have left is... Oh, brute. Oh. There was a... Gosh, now we're back to Mr. Nuncreed's kind eyes, warm to stern. There was a deeper emotion hiding behind it all. It was subtle, but Luka could sense something eating away at him. There was a malice lurking behind
There was
this.
a malice lurking behind those eyes. Like a trap ready to spring. Luka felt the weight of Nuncreed's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luka to get out of there.
I just want this to be all over. Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough. I should get going. Told Roxy I'd check for Rolo at the
Luka twisted
treehouse.
free of Nuncreed's grasp.
Good show. Of course. Luka? You know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. No. Let's just get out of here. Run! What the hell? These festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know that festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It would be a shame
The
if someone...
two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Interesting. Identify yourself, please. Nilly Modwell. I work here now. I'm unable to locate you in our staff role. Oh, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Kerr said I could come in early tonight to get a few things done. Please hold. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Whoa. You could get a wrench into the noggin sneaking up to that guy, up on a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junkin', Sonny. Evening, Jeff. Isn't it kind of late to be junkin'? I might as well ask the same thing of you. Find anything good? Bah, ever since Perennial Harvest movie, even the junk is trash. You can learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. With this bunch, it's all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I better get going. I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. All right. Hey, Jetson. Have you seen Rolo come this way by any chance? Afraid not. As elusive as the fish in this here pond. All right. Rolo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rolo! Sigh. Rolo, wherever you are, hope you are
Luka
okay.
felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace.
Wait at the tree house in case Rolo shows up.
Once again, Luka found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire, the source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luka stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket, a keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luka turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luka found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luka's doppelganger stepped forward. "That's up to you." Without knowing why, Luka began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real?" Luka's father bent down to smudge away a tear. "Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me."
God, that's horrible.
Luka turned to look at the older version of himself. "And you?" The doppelganger choked back tears. "I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone."
God, this is hitting so deep.
That makes sense.
God.
Through his tears, Luka laughed. "I think so." His father pulled him in for an embrace. "Time to go, Buckaroo." Luka was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in
A
there?
commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luka sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open.
Oh, God.
Chapter 5. Dangers Big and Small. Luka stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luka froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Stop right there. Or I'll... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you recognize me. Who are
The
you?
large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
God, is that Rolo? What happened? Stop, or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, take it easy. Luka, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rolo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rolo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Ha, uncle? Luka, quit messing around. It's me. If it's really you, prove it. Flaming chicken coop, Luka.
Luka's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rolo. Only bigger, older, changed.
What the actual is going on? How? What happened to you? When I was running away, I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where did they take you? I don't know, they threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. I think it was an underground lab or something. They made my hands... What? They made my hands all big, look.
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luka.
Cute, he thinks it's just his hands. Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. But beggars can't be choosers. Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet too. Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luka, why are you so
Luka
small?
moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
Oh my god. What
His
the...
hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? Made me drink some sort of green crud. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kind of tasted like licorice. I passed out and woke up like this. And then I sort of smashed open my cage and escaped. You smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least, I think I did. It was all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage? Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome! Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luka, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at it this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. We may finally have a lead on what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger? Ha.
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Hey fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luka.
Take cover. Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something truly bizarre just happened and I need help. I didn't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your larger adult friend? Ah, no, this is my buddy Rollo. This is your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Oh, I'm sorry. You're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How did you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. Hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luka, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rollo. Beck, you said something bizarre happened. Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rollo. This has been a weird day. All round, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. My first order of business was to try and salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from the chemistry set my mom gave me. Okay. We just need to play it cool and hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? It just kind of felt like a change. It's going to forever to grow out. You're the one who said a change is a good thing, right? I was talking about your mother's new job. I was talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to
Ilona
heart.
tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Kerr decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. That guy Kerr seems like a real grade A creep. Beck. He is, him and his weird cult of personality. You're not going to ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, and I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough to her to exile her daughter to this pedunk town. This place sucks. These people are weird. You just don't know them yet. It's always cold. We're in the mountains. You'll get used to it. I can't even pick up a decent single radio station. It's all banjo music and farm reports. You know, I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants and people? Oh my god, kid. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You need to look presentable at the festival. But Not another
She
piece.
sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. And that doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. Other people seem to have that covered for me. And oh, if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more,
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll shave it off for you. Think of how rebellious you'll look then. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded. No. I'm sorry you got into trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it. I actually kind of like this look. Great. Can we get back to the story now? The next part is the important bit. I had this radio upgraded with my mom, and I was too angry to sleep. So I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Kerr, are you there? Mr. Kerr? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies. I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report on our new lead researcher of deep engineering? Nellie Modwell seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had the chance to suggest it. Excellent. And you have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? Her work must be complete before the festival. I'll make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her. Long-term prospects in the company? Immediate, sir. I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. We are on the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott. Can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once she finishes the work, she'll either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay just for a bit. Oh, it's just we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline. And rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all that you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Chin up, Bill. You are only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Whoa. Yeah. So just to be clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone. Capital murder.
Luka gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. Now, as far as we know, Kerr is the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy. So we have even a topper banana on the field. The hell's my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. Said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luka, do you think that body at the warehouse was persons Beck's mom came to replace? That would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. Okay, so we need to get your mum out of there before the festival happens. That's 2 days away. Won't she come home after work? A creep on the radio said they were going to hold her until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and
Beck
get her.
flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this will help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map from my mom's PH orientation day. And it shows the layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. There's a big room marked Founder's Office. It even has exit marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is,
Rollo
right?
started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. This is officially a heist.
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6. Of course.
The heist. They spent the night's end huddled around that small map, formulating a plan to infiltrate the headquarters of Perennial Harvest. It would be no small feat, a modern facility equipped with all manner of technology, not to mention the swarm of clipboards that would most certainly be scattered throughout. By the time the sun began to peek through the car window used as a makeshift balcony door, all were in agreement. This could just work. The final day before the festival would be used to prepare. They'd need to pool every resource at their disposal, pull every favor with a thread, even enlist some unsavory characters around town with important tasks only they were suited for. Luckily, there was enough ill will and mistrust toward Perennial Harvest that alliances could be found at a bargain. Luka, Beck, and Rollo rubbed their eyes as they exited the treehouse. They hadn't slept at all that night. There was no time. The festival was to begin in one day, and they each had their assignments.
Freaky. Alright, quick recap. Rollo, you're gonna talk to Roxy. Cordially. Without her in the fits, this whole thing could go bust. Me, Cordial, is my middle name. Uh-huh. How do you plan to explain
He
your
waved
new
vaguely at Rollo's sizable figure.
circumstance? Bah, she'll be so happy I'm alive she won't even
Beck
notice.
snorted an involuntary giggle.
And Beck, you're Ilona. You're sure Ilona... Ilona won't just shoot this whole thing when she hears it. She'll listen. Once she understands the danger Nearly is in, the danger we're all in, the plan will make sense. Okay. That leaves me with Jeff and Iggy. How are you going to persuade them? I'll think of
They
something.
each looked at each other with sleepy confidence and nodded.
Well, Godspeed. Enlist the help of Jeff. Enlist the help of Iggy and Tish. Alright. Jeff? Who's Jeff again? Jeff is normally scratching in the rubbish, isn't he? So cute. And this is where it all started. Insanity. Cute. Still cute. All right. That's... I'm not sure where anyone is. Oh, we've gone down there. Okay, let's go right. Oh, there's Jeff. Hey, Jeff. What can I do for you? Well, I know how much you hate Perennial Harvest. Hate's a strong word. Sorry, I didn't say it was the wrong word. Gotcha. So we're gonna break into their headquarters and I thought you might be able to help.
Jeff wheezed out a long snicker.
Hee hee. You see, I knew your kids will, right? Great, so you'll
The
help?
joy in Jeff's face drained instantly.
Not a chance. But give me 1 second. Give me one good reason I should risk my hide aiding and abetting you rascals.
Looking into the sullen eyes of his would-be accomplice, Luka blurted out the first word that came to mind.
Junk. Yeah. What of it? Sonny, I got more junk than a king has copper. Ain't interested.
Luka wasn't ready to give up so easily. He shouted out again.
Okay, so we've done junk. Fight. Done enough fighting for one lifetime and more than my share of losing. Time's coming to hang up the gloves. Alright. Let's go shit. Yeah, it's all shit. It still ain't helping. Ain't that some shit? Hee hee. Alright, so it was hide.
Jeff's brow perked up.
What did you say? Go ahead and hide
Sensing
then.
some traction, Luka carried on with vigor.
Let a bunch of kids do what needs to be done. We're not afraid.
Jeff's scowl faded with a sigh.
Say what you will about old Jeff, and they all do. But you'll never hear them say I hid from nothing.
One good stomp of the foot was all Jeff needed to drive his point home.
What was it you kids needed? Some sort of disguise. I've got just the thing. And while we're at it, that crate should come in handy. This ain't gonna be free, you know. I'm thinking 5 bags of sour gobs should cover it. Put it on my
Luka
tab.
offered out his open hand to seal the deal. With a firm and dusty grip, Jeff reciprocated.
Done. Swing by first thing in the morning. Sweet. Alright. No, not in here. Oh, there they are. That was lucky. Hey Tish, look who it is. Luka, are you here to try tickle us to death again? Just look, hear me out.
Iggy raised an eyebrow suspiciously.
We're listening. Iggy, I know we've both been giant bags of shit to each
Iggy
other.
gave a reluctant shrug.
You're not wrong. But lately life has kind of been strange, you know.
Iggy considered the point.
Things have been weird around here. So I'm offering a truce and asking for your help. What do you say we break our hostilities, at least for now? We do like breaking things. Even if a truce means less breaking things. What if I told you there was a way to have a truce and break stuff? Go on. I need you to cause a distraction so I can sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ.
A wild-eyed grin spread across Iggy's face.
My, Luka Van Horn, I'm impressed. After this is all done, maybe you and Tish can come hang out at the treehouse
Iggy glanced
sometime.
over to Tish, who nodded in agreement.
Fine. But not because we want to see your crappy treehouse. We just like to cause chaos.
With a quick nod, Luka was off.
Well, that worked out pretty well. I was expecting to get everything wrong like I did with Jeff. That was lucky. Did you hear that,
Iggy
Tish?
gazed up at Tish with a smile.
He invited us to hang out at the treehouse.
A single tear ran down Tish's cheek.
I never expected this day to come. How wonderful. Oh, that's all they ever wanted. Oh my gosh.
Chapter 7. Into the Hive. A good heist requires preparation. And thorough preparation takes time. Something they had precious little of. So far, everything was in order. Jeff, Iggy, and Tish all agreed to do their part. Beck radioed Luka that night with a simple and covert message. We're locked and loaded on my end.
That's so
And
cool.
Rollo, after a lengthy confession, managed to persuade Roxy and Fitz to help. He stowed away in mission control for the night to avoid attracting attention.
Yeah.
Rollo, being uniquely suited for the role, would be the first to breach Perennial Harvest. The outfit provided by Jeff wasn't perfect, but a convincing disguise is 10% wardrobe, 90% confidence.
Ain't that the truth?
Rollo took a few vigorous breaths and shook out his arms.
I know that feeling. Just stay calm. Oh, how cute does he look? Just stay calm, Rollo. You can do this. Got your delivery here. A delivery? I don't have anything in my notes about a delivery. One moment. I'm so sorry, but there's no delivery scheduled for this morning.
He had to
Right.
think quick.
That's because this goes directly to the founder. He asked that it be kept secret.
Rollo sighed, adjusting his tool belt.
You know how the founder can be. I suppose we can leave this one off the records. Our harvest awaits and
With a
such.
stroke of his mustache, Rollo proceeded into the Perennial Harvest headquarters.
Our harvest awaits. Package here for the founder. Oh, I didn't hear anything about it. Yeah, this is on a need-to-know kind of thing. I'll just
He
check.
stammered and flipped through the pages of his clipboard.
This goes directly to the founder. I don't have time to fill you in. Oh, I see. If you could just complete this
Rollo
form.
interrupted with urgency in his voice.
Every time with the forms. Look, if you want to explain to the founder why I'm late, well, that's your funeral. I'm sorry. What did you say your name was again?
Rollo panicked.
Our harvest awaits. That's a restricted area. Excuse me, sir. Our harvest awaits. Ready to light this candle, Tish? Yep. Suck on this, perennial ham fist. What was
The
that?
distraction was enough for Rollo to regain his confidence.
Oh, good show. Just open the damn door. I've got a job to
The
do.
clipboard fumbled around in a frenzy.
I should check on that noise. Oh, come on! Just buzz me in already. Okay, okay. Haha. Phew. That was close. Our harvest awaits. Hey, I figure. When in doubt, stick with the classics. Well, that was a close one. But you pulled it off. Nice work, Rollo. Alright, everyone knows what to do. Yep, deep engineering is in the north. I'll go with Beck, in case you need some muscle. I'll head east to the founder's office. You two be safe. Locate the founder's office. That's odd. There's not even any cups for the water. No? There we go. This whole place just feels fake. But of all things, a fake plant? Okay. Solomon?
Solomon stopped in his tracks.
Luka? What are you doing here? It's a long story. Are you
A
okay?
veneer of confusion flashed across Solomon's face. His words rushed out dramatically.
No, I'm certainly not okay. Some strange people grabbed me and were in hazmat suits. Yes, how did you know? They brought me here and locked me up when they were distracted. I ran. Dang, okay, you should stick with me. We've got a plan.
Solomon's facade briefly faltered.
Yeah, Rollo, Beck, we're headed for deep engineering. Thank heavens you found me. We've got to get out of here. We can't just leave yet. They'll catch us again. I got to do something first. When you were running, did you happen to see a door marked founder? Why are you looking for him? I'm not. I just need to get into that office. Now that you mention it, I do think I saw a door that said founder. It's just down
Luka
this way.
happened to notice a plaque above the door.
Office of the founder. Knocking comes with consequence. Oh, here it is. So it is. It's pretty lucky that I ran into you, or else I might have missed it. Truly fortunate.
Luka tried the handle.
Locked.
Solomon leaned forward to examine the mechanism.
Regrettably, it seems the same sort of electric lock. I don't see how we could possibly defeat a lock like that.
Luka smiled and looked at his watch.
Let's just wait a minute. Like no one will notice. I don't know what sort of funny business you're up to, but I like it.
She mimed a quick hat tip and ambled off with a whistle.
Howdy. Good afternoon.
The light on the keypad changed from red to green.
How did you do that? It's good to have friends. quick, let's get inside before someone spots us. Sigh.
Luka switched on his walkie-talkie.
Rollo, I'm in. As expected, there's a control panel. Great timing. We're stuck at the locked door 24601. Need you to get us through. All right. So basically, how I got here so quickly is wherever I chose to go first, I decided to go the opposite route. I have, let's just say, not always great choices. What if someone catches us? We should get out of here. I'm not leaving my friend Solomon. And I'm not surprised it worked. On the computer screen,
a green cursor blinked in a password field.
Surely you don't have any way to get around the password. As mentioning, I'm not surprised that it actually worked.
Luka pecked out his best guess. Underground secrets. The screen blinked to life. Columns of green numbers glowed on a black background.
How did you guess? Just guess that. Oh, it's this absurd password Rollo heard when he was down here before. It's funny how someone arrogant enough to call themselves the founder uses such a basic password. Or they were thinking several moves ahead and not expecting anyone to guess something so simple. These villain types always end up outsmarting themselves.
Solomon's jaw clenched into a half smile.
The powers of deduction are as impressive as your
Luka
luck.
quickly scanned the columns for number 24601.
Well, I think this should do it. Bingo, bango, doors open. Luka, you never fail to impress. What is that slippery lout even doing down there? We have a friend whose mom is in trouble. We're here to get her out. I see. Well, Luka, I think we're close. The next door is marked 13806.
Once again, Luka scrutinized the numbers on the screen. In that moment of distraction, Solomon reached forward and pressed a large red button.
Ship it. Maybe this one opens the lock. Thought so. Crap, we've got company. Luka must go faster. One sec, I think, with all this noise.
He quickly skimmed the screen with his finger.
Here it is, 13806. Go, go, go. Curse those fumbled hands. My apologies, Luka. Don't beat yourself up. I know you were trying to help. No, you wasn't. Oh, man. No water cups. Rollo! No. Rollo, are you okay? Rollo, come in.
Mr. Kerr approached with a sneer and spoke into his walkie-talkie.
You can turn off the alarms, they're trapped.
With self-satisfaction, he called into the hallway.
That, my dears, is a dead end. Nowhere to run. Rollo, where are you? Are you okay? Yeah, I think we lost him. Making our way back to Nellie's office. Okay, you two ramble rousers are coming with us. Nope. Yeah, you kick him, Roxy. Make a break for it. Did that little shit just kick me? Don't just stand there after them. Okay, I think that worked. Roxy and Fitz have them on the wild goose chase. I'm having trouble following what just happened. Like I said, it's good to have friends. Rollo, how long do you think Roxy can distract them? How long can Roxy keep someone so pissed off they can't see straight? Let's just say we've got time. Entering Nellie's office now. Mom! Oh, honey, what did you do to your hair? I thought you'd be happy I finally used the young chemist lab kit. You sure have a knack for making me incredibly proud in the most frustrating ways. We need to get you out of here. We? Who is your adult friend? Oh, I'm not an adult. Ever heard of growth spurt? I had more of a growth spew. No, that's not
Nellie
possible.
leaned over to examine his teeth.
Substantial banding on the enamel of the molars, constant with tempus liquamine exposure. Is that what you call the gunk they forced me to drink? You drank it? Oh no. They told me it would only be tested on plants. Oh, Beck, sweetie, I promise I didn't know. Mom, what the hell is going on at this place? I was brought here to work on the discovery of a lifetime. A novel chemical compound was discovered under Beacon Pines in a wellspring they called the Source. They named it Tempus Liquamine. Pulls energy from its surroundings in order to fundamentally alter matter's relationship to time. Was the secret to Valentine's fertilizer. They harvest the source, infusing small amounts of Tempus Liquamine into the product. It worked wonders, drastically accelerating plant growth. Crops would be ready to harvest in a fraction of the time, but it led to complications. The foul harvest. Perennial harvest came in to clean up the mess, to succeed where Valentine failed. But Tempus Liquamine is rebellious. Rebellious? You can think of it as a manifestation of change itself. It's volatile by its very nature. So the more you try to force it to do a specific thing, the more it resists. Yes, I can relate to that. My role was to finish the work of my predecessor, Dr. Prescott, harnessing Tempus Liquamine to reliably manipulate an organism's age. Just imagine how many people we could feed. Mr. Kerr was very insistent that we achieve a very successful result before today's festival. But you didn't,
Molly
right?
sighed.
Oh, shit, but she did. You know how I love a good puzzle. I pulled myself into the problem. It wasn't long until I discovered oddities in Dr. Prescott's notes. Oddities? They contained obvious errors, mistakes that someone of his reputation could never make. So I fixed them, and now I get to replace my entire wardrobe. I am really, truly sorry. Meh, these clothes were all hand-me-downs anyway. Sounds like Dr. Prescott figured it out, got cold feet, and intentionally sabotaged his own work. Had considered that possibility. I've sent a letter asking him to clarify his thinking. Mom, Dr. Prescott is dead. Kerr had him killed. What? I've heard them talking about it on the radio. That is why we got to get you out of here. Like now. Wait, the vial. I finally solved the chemical equation allowing direct control of aging. Mr. Kerr picked it up just before you came. All the more reason we got to hightail it. Luka, we got Dr. Modwell heading your way now. Roger that, be careful. Alright, everything's on track. And what is your plan for escape? We'll go over everything when we get there. In the meantime, maybe we just dig up some more info. Wow. Looks like the founder was helping Kerr plan the festival. Why would such a secretive leader be obsessed with a party? Only time will
Luka
tell.
held his hand up to the ashtray.
Still warm. Must have been in here recently. Books on the chair. How's he not seeing now? It's this little turd here. Malice 80 proof whiskey. Hard drink for a hard man. Well, even his alcohol is arrogant.
Solomon muttered inaudibly.
I should just smother you right now. What's that? I said I shouldn't bother you right now. Don't be silly. You're no bother at all.
Luka tugged on each of the cabinets.
Dang, this must be the good stuff. We're all locked. Perhaps he's not as careless as you suspected. Let's see what else this bad boy has on it. Security system, time card logs, payroll. And you know, for being so evil, this guy is sure boring.
Solomon once again muttered under his breath.
Just you wait. Huh? Oh, nothing. I'm just double checking everything. I think we got it all. Now just speak to this little... I'm really sorry you got dragged into this mess, Solomon. You don't need to worry about me. Well, I feel bad either way. We're gonna get you out of here.
With a subtle, quivering lip, a smile crawled across Solomon's face. They heard the trampling of frantic footsteps from the hallway.
Lock it, lock it, lock it. All right, locked. That was close. When we left Nellie's office, it was swarming with clipboards. We barely got away. Did they follow you? Yes. Righto. Before we stop tossing blame around. Is it possible someone ordered a pizza? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Definitely not pizza. What now? Don't look at me. I'm officially retiring from this heisting business. We're so sorry for the inconvenience. We just have a few quick questions. Just let me think. Can someone watch the door? Of course. Oh dear. Everyone else huddle up. Oops. I think this little caper has gone on long enough. Solomon, no! Hush now, child, the adults are speaking. Dr. Mobile, a brief reintroduction is in order. We've never met in person, but we have corresponded. You see, it was I who hired you. Solomon, the pathetic orphan child. A powerful and... I don't know why I can't say that. Enigmatic founder. Sharper, the fallen... progenitor who created this town. Perennial harvest, Valentine fertilizer, all connected by a single thread, yours truly.
Her eyes searched the floor in thought. Solomon watched eagerly, waiting for the flicker of epiphany. With a sickened look, she peered into his soul.
Ah, yes, now you've got it. Tempest Liquimine, you've discovered how to reverse the process.
Solomon clapped with genuine delight.
Very good, Dr. Modwell, very good. Though the discovery wasn't intentional.
Solomon glanced down, examining his youthful form.
And the effects went a little too far for my taste. That's why you needed me to finish Dr. Prescott's work. Which you did admirably. Mr. Kerr, the vial,
Kerr
please.
Presented it with a theatrical twirl of the hand.
May I present to you the eighth wonder
Before he could finish, Rollo snatched the vial from Kerr's palm.
Wow, this stuff sounds pretty valuable. Be careful, you fool. You have no idea what you have in your hand. Actually, we do. You just did a whole evil villain monologue thingy about
Rollo
it.
casually tossed the vial to Luka.
Gosh, maybe I'll have a
Luka
taste.
tickled the vial mockingly.
Seize him, Luka. Over here. Move another inch and I'll
She
smash
held it tightly behind her back. Solomon sighed, speaking in crisp, measured syllables.
You have no plan. I'll smash it, I swear. Fine, risk killing us all. Or, if you're lucky, nothing happens, then what? We capture you and grant you much less leniency.
He pursed his lips with feigned sincerity.
But I give you my word, if you hand it over now, none of you will be harmed.
A deep uncertainty washed over Beck.
You're a smart girl, Beck. But there's no shame in being outwitted by someone smarter than you. We both know that there's only one way of
She
descent.
looked to Nellie shakily. With a dispirited nod, Nellie sighed in defeat. Beck slowly approached Solomon.
That's a good girl. Beck, don't do it. We can't trust that jerk. I'm sorry, he's right.
With apprehension, Beck conceded. Solomon pocketed the vial and brushed off his shoulder with a sharp flick.
Damn it. Mr. Kerr, you have allowed yourself to be humiliated by a group of children. Report to my office tomorrow for a
The
performance
blood
review.
drained from Kerr's face.
Of course, sir. But first, you have a speech to make. Trot out there and give me the introduction I deserve. And don't forget to smile. Yes, sir. And to think all of this is thanks to the efforts of Mr. Van Horn. I don't understand. How is this because of me? I said Mr. Van Horn, silly child. Dr. Walt Van Horn. Your father was always a thorn in my side. I offered him an opportunity to be a part of something great, but the fool was blinded by righteousness. He even broke into my lab in an attempt to sabotage my
Solomon
work.
shook his head with gratification.
But the universe has a funny way of correcting course. By meddling with the force he didn't understand, Walt showed me its true potential. As fate would have it, Luka, your father's dying act was to grant me eternal life.
Muffled applause resonated faintly through the walls.
Well, that's my cue. After the festivities and my subsequent ascension, I will return to deal with you all. Until then, I suggest you use this time to reflect on the magnitude of your failure. You three keep post outside the door. Well, crap. Can't believe Beck sold us out like that. I'm not sure she had any other choice. So now what? What's the plan? I don't have one. Of course you do. You always have a plan. Rollo, you just need some time. Rollo, it's over. We lost. least we're not dead. I hope.
Nellie was staring at the floor, deep in thought.
Sorry, Luka. Give me a minute to calm my mind. All right. Hey, I'm sorry, Luka. I did what I had to do. I know, it's just we were so close. I got a feeling that eventually Solomon will get what's coming to him. Time wounds all heals. Well, time seems like less of an issue for him now. Luka, there's something you should know. After Mr. Kerr locked me in that office, I had nothing but time and curiosity. I poked around a bit, hoping to find a means of escape. A note hidden in a false drawer. What sort of note? Dr. Prescott must have sensed this time at perennial harvest was growing short. So he left behind a letter with hope that it would be found by his successor. It was a confession of some sort. He left it for me, but its contents. Luka, I think they were meant for you. What do you... It was about an incident with your mother. Dr. Prescott found her in his lab with a stolen keycard. There was an incident. She had been exposed to extreme amounts of Tempest liquamine.
The color dropped from Luka's face.
She survived. Dr. Prescott decided to help her recover. He no longer trusted Perennial Harvest, so he kept her whereabouts a secret. Over time, your mother led him to reconsider the purpose of scientific discovery. Science is often at the vanguard of change, but that doesn't mean it's always right. He realized that no one should have control over something as powerful as time itself. I now believe that's why he began to intentionally sabotage his own work. And it cost him his life? That's a reasonable conclusion.
Luka was overwhelmed with emotion.
But if she read the letter, then why did she create... man. But if she's alive, where's she been? Where's she now?
A sudden explosion sounded from the hall.
Oh my god.
Chapter 8. Comeuppance. Ears still ringing, Gran picked herself up off the ground. Through the dust and smoke, she looked over to see Mrs. Fratelli helping Hiram Tolliver to his feet.
Cool.
She'd had to beg, borrow, and steal to acquire those explosives. How many nights had she spent visualizing how she'd use them to make things right? And now, her one shot at destroying the source, that damned hole that swallowed so much of her life, was gone. Traded for this jagged hole in a wall and a foolhardy shot at rescuing Rollo. With Fratelli and Tolliver at her side, she stepped through. It was a strange feeling. The last time she'd stalked this maze of hallways, it was in a different body. They quickly rounded a corner to find a group of clipboards guarding a door. Something worth guarding is probably something worth seeing. She leapt forward, brandishing her cane. If her last chance at vengeance for things lost was truly gone, she would just have to fight to keep what she still had.
Gran, what are you doing here? Luka, what are you doing here? We're here to save Nellie. We're here to save Rollo. Hey, Mrs. Lucas Gran. That's awful nice of you, but I'm fine. Oh no, what did they... Gran, there's no time to explain. We have to go now. Come on, everyone, we've got a party to crash.
They made their way out from deep within Perennial
Well, at least
Harvest,
there's no
just
freezing.
as Solomon finished up his speech.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket.
We've got to stop
In
him.
one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
No. Well, I guess that's it. We're lost. I wouldn't be so sure about that.
With a mischievous look, Beck elbowed Luka. Remember when I had the vial behind my back?
I might have tweaked this wonder potion with a little... I don't know which one to choose. I'll go change.
Might have tweaked his wonder potion with a little change.
Like pocket change? You're a lucky penny. Yeah, I popped it in the vial and no one was looking. What's that going to do? No idea, but that's the beauty of science. Now we observe. You can all call me Shopper
His
Valentine.
body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Oh god. Holy crap, he's a baby. Yeah, but he's still Shopper, right? What he was no longer matters. This is an innocent child. I apologize for all the harm my father has caused
Eris
you.
awkwardly cradled the squirming child. She looked to her brother, her voice shaking with uncertainty.
Augustus, what do we? We do what Valentines always do. What must be done. I hurry home and prepare a crib for father, young Shopper. That would be great
She
help,
looked
thank
back
you.
down at the infant with equal parts kindness and terror in her eyes. With a shake of her head, Eris addressed the crowd with a stern scowl.
Okay, everyone, the show is over. You may leave now.
Epilogue.
Have we actually done it?
Beacon Pine's coldest summer on record came and went without much fanfare. Folks shared what they had, and none were left wanting. The new school year was ushered in by the falling leaves of autumn. After everything Luka, Rollo, and Beck had been through, middle school was bearable. The chill of winter didn't seem to bother people much. They kindled a hope for a better future in their hearts. When spring arrived, farmers planted their crops with a sense of joy and optimism. And as the dawn of the first day of summer came again, its light slowly spread through the shallow valley. It crept over the town square, across the river, past the neglected welcome sign, and came to rest on a young boy sleeping at dawn, his mind at peace, knowing he is here for a reason.
That's so cool. Yeah, we had to go do that. That's... Rollo, you up yet? Roger that. It's a beautiful day at Mission Control. You gonna swing by? Be there in a minute. Check in with Rollo at the treehouse.
Eleanor had moved back into her bedroom, and now that she wasn't sneaking out late, she even slept there most nights.
That's cool.
Over time, Eleanor began moving Walt's old things out of the closet and into storage.
Oh. So everyone's starting to heal. Oh, I didn't see that box there. Mom, I'm ready to go now. You're going without me. I'll meet you there. I've got a batch of jam to finish jarring. It's funny. I only started making jam as a way of sending messages without anyone noticing. But now I enjoy it. Oh. Oh, that's a box of jam. So cool. I hear you and Rhoda having big plans for that little treehouse. Yeah, it started getting crowded after we revoked the max capacity, 1 Rollo, 1 Luka rule. So we decided to expand. But at least we got some help with that. How's the internship at Nelly and Iona's shop going? It's been great. I'm hoping it helps me get into School of Agriculture up at State. Also, Nelly said she'd write a letter of recommendation, which would be huge. I just can't help but worry about leaving Rollo. He's grown up so fast and he's really still my little brother. Yeah, he had a heck of a growth spurt. I didn't mean grown, literally. This morning he was up and finished his chores before I even had breakfast. Well, some of that might be excitement about the treehouse renovations. Don't tell him this, cause it'll go to his head and I'm probably really proud of the little punk. I'm sure he feels the same way. But he's just too dang proud to tell you. I know. Oh. Hey guys, how's the tree planting going? Couldn't be better. I'm so grateful Iona and Nelly for letting me help. I just wasn't built to be a mayor. Too much bureaucracy. Guess we finished cleaning up the sidewalks. What's
When
next?
perennial harvest collapsed, most of the clipboards skipped town. But some stuck around and dedicated themselves to making things right.
Cool. Anyone with a knack for art can help paint the new offices. You can count on us. Well, it looks like you really found your calling. Never really felt comfortable telling people what to do. Now, this right here, there is something I can be proud of. Slow and dirty harvest. How's the napping this morning? The most underrated part of a good nap is the view. But the view's getting greener every day. Nice. I see you decided on a name. Yep, and we had to clear out all the old stuff before putting on the final touch. Slow and Dirty Harvest is now official. I like it. It was actually Nellie's idea. There's still a lot of work to do and the name serves as a reminder. Just because progress is important doesn't mean change should happen fast. In fact, I've learned that more you care about something, the more important it is to take things slow. Our motto is go slow and fix things. Amen to that. Okay, let's go see what's happening at the treehouse. Luka, get this. I managed to reel in an actual fish this morning. Seriously? Yeah, an honest to goodness. Flip-flopping, swim-swamming fish. I don't think I've ever caught an actual fish here. Been at least 7 years since I caught one. I'd say it's a good omen. What do you think? What you do with the fish? I release it back into the pond. I'm hoping to catch it again tomorrow. Cute. A little higher. Yep. A little lower. Too low. A little higher. Yep. I'm telling you, the angle isn't the issue. We need more power to the radio. Luka, there you are. Check in with Rollo at the treehouse. Would you tell him it's not the angle? Hey, I'm not in charge of antenna redesign. Fine. Iggy, just don't do anything drastic until we get back. Who, me? Tish, you're in charge while I'm gone. Yep. Cute. They'll be fine, right? It'll be fine. We just really want mission control to turn out into something bigger and better. We have to loosen our grip a bit. Sai, you're right. Lead the way. Check in with Beck at her house. Okay, let's go. Young Mr. Van Horn. How's little Solomon Sharper doing? Young Sharper seems to enjoy nature more than I. So we do a lot of strolling these days. Haha. You know. Attempted to crawl out of his crib and plot world domination? Yeah. Thankfully, no. I spoke at length with Dr. Modewell and she feels that Sharper's infant mind was not developed enough to retain his previous memories. For all intents and purposes, the child is in molded clay. Let's hope he's a little nicer the second time round. That's the objective, yes. But really, all I can do is try and hope. 2 activities I'm endeavoring to find less distasteful. Well, I think you're doing a great job, and the whole town is ready to help out, however we can. I can't wait to teach him to throw a baseball.
Did her best to ignore the tears welling in her eyes.
That would be great. Acceptable. Or that would be acceptable. What's today's news that needs knowing? I'll give you tomorrow's headline. I'll give you tomorrow's headline today. Old friend Patrick C. Montesquieu, a.k.a. William Kerr, just performed a stirring rendition of The Ice Cream Cometh at the State Correctional Facility. I hear there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Well, I guess he has plenty of time to work on his craft. Cool. Hey, Mr. Nuncreed. I'm going to see my dad in a bit. Do you want to come with? Even after everything I did, you still...
Mr. Nuncreed shook his head.
You really are your father's son, aren't you? I don't think I'm ready for that yet. Well, you're always invited. I bet he'd love to hear from you. I'll visit Walt in my own time. You run along now. What's happening here?
With perennial harvest gone, the transportation tubes were left unused.
Come on, come all. No one is too big, no one is too small. Well, Jeff's wild ride.
Maybe not completely unused.
So cool. Just one piece of candy for the ride of your life. Who's next? Me, 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 me. Oh. Guess what? Yesterday I saw... What? Canastus titius. And that's good. It's great. I haven't spotted one of those in years. At this rate, Beacon Pines is going to become a bug capital of the county. There she is. I have news I think you'll enjoy. This morning I unpacked my last box. You're officially moved in? It's just a box. Let's not blow this out of proportion. It sounds an awful lot like putting down roots. I guess I've decided this place is root-worthy. You're going to be stuck with me for the foreseeable future. I do have to warn you, most views aren't going to be as interesting as this one. I think I'll manage. Ready? Before we go, there's a bit of a surprise. Check in with Beck at her house. My mom's prepared this tree especially for you. They didn't have to do that. It wasn't just them. It's about the whole town pitched in. We all owe you. It should do okay in the cold of old Beacon Pines. And thrive as things warm up. That's perfect. When you're ready, take Jeff's wild ride to old Beacon Pines. I am going to cry because I know this is for his dad. That's so heartfelt. Ah, you got it. Now that's a good looking tree. Being a special occasion and whatnot, this ride's on the house. You're gonna want to hang on to that tight to that little tree. Oh.
I think this is it.
Sure.
The end I've been waiting for. Honestly, I'd begun to lose hope of ever finding it. But then you came along. I don't know exactly how to thank you. It's hard to explain how much this means to me. It's funny, now that our time together is finally ending. I'm at a loss for words. Let's just watch the end together.
Done. A good little tree. The best little tree. Thank you, children. This means a lot. Yeah, thanks for everything. Shucks. I only did what any super awesome best buddy would have done. We should probably give you some time alone now. You good? Yeah, I am. It's been a wild year. How are you feeling? Everyone keeps asking me that. I'm fine, really. Pa always says the only thing fitter than a fiddle is a cello. I feel like a dang cello. Well, if you ever stop feeling like a cello, I'm here for you. I know, you don't even have to say it. You two make an awesome pair. Excuse me? We're a trio now. Yep. Thanks. There's just one thing missing now that you're part of our group. Missing? Let me tell you a little story about a man named Hank Atomic. Oh, God. I won't be long. We'll be waiting for you back at the phone booth. I found the perfect way to start our summer. Oh, no, not again. You've got some good friends. I'm so proud of you. Your father would be so proud. I know. Mom, can I ask you a question? Do you ever dream about Dad? Not a night goes by that I don't. Are you ever afraid that you're going to forget him? Forget what he looked like? Forget his voice? No, because so much of him lives in you. Oh my God, can this stop? He loved that old tree, but I know he would have loved this one more. Because his two favorite people planted it. I'll give you two a moment. I'm gonna start ugly crying any moment now. Hey, Dad. Dr. Modville says that over the next few years this place should warm up. So you won't have to be so cold for much longer. I think I finally understand why you left that night. There were things you believed in big things. And those beliefs were the things that made you you. If you wouldn't have stood up to Sharper, stood up for what you believed in, you wouldn't have been the same person anymore. You had to go. But you didn't mean you loved us any less. I might not visit you as much as I used to. I know you understand. Wow. Whew. A moment. Wow. You know the scary part, how genius this game is. You have to go through everything in order to get and find out the full story. That's how it was designed. That is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. This is truly one of the best little games, story-driven games I think I have ever played, and that will leave a mark on me. I just wish more people knew about this little game. That is amazing. Well, guys, on that note, I hope you guys will have a fantastic morning, afternoon, day, evening, wherever you are. But that's me. We're done with Beacon Pines. What a phenomenal journey it was. Peace and love. Mon out.